Hello, bright souls. Welcome to my second vlog. I'm not going to keep counting, I promise. What I want to cover in this vlog is basically all of the things that ail me, all of the problems, health problems that I have. So I had mentioned in a different video, my first vlog, that I'm going to see a counselor at Dr. Morse's health facility, detoxification specialist. And in preparation for that, I had to fill out a health questionnaire, which was quite lengthy and very thorough, and I'm really impressed so far. But in filling out that questionnaire, I had to jot down all the things that are bothering me, you know, all of the health problems that I'm having, and it is quite a lengthy list. So for someone in their mid-40s, I feel like my list probably represents, you know, what somebody in their mid-60s would be complaining of. But anyway, this is the starting point. And I do hope, and I'm very positive and very optimistic that things are going to only get better from here. So the number one thing, I'm gonna go through everything that's bothering me, and one of the reasons I'm doing this is because I want to be able to look back on this video and even do an update, you know, 6 months, a year, 2 years down the road, and see what has improved. So here's where I started, and here are all the things that was bothering me, and here is where I am now, and all the things that have improved. So sort of like a, you know, video catalog, or you know, documentation or something like that, you know. So I don't want the video to be too long, so I'm going to go ahead and dive into it. The very first thing, the number one health complaint that I have, is that I am a type 2 diabetic. Now, that's really all I'm going to say about that, because I actually, since that's my number one health concern, and the top of my list to improve or actually heal from, I don't want to be a diabetic anymore. I want to heal. But I'm going to document that in another video, because I want to go really in depth with, you know, here are my test results, and here's the meds I'm taking, and my, you know, what my blood sugar readings are, you know, at present, you know, things like that. So I don't want to spend too much time, make too long of a video. So I'm actually going to cover the type 2 diabetes issue in a separate video. So my number 2 complaint, or problem, health concern, is hypertension. You know, so I have high blood pressure, and I am on medication. I am on one pill for the hypertension, and it is really, it goes up, and then it's normal, and you know, so it's not high all the time, and it's not really high. And of course I check on a regular basis, so with the medication I do kind of keep it in the normal range, around 120/70, and that's with the meds. It was getting into, like, you know, 138, 140/90, you know, it was kind of in that range before I got on the medication. But that is one of my goals also, is to have a normal blood pressure without being on meds. So getting off of the high blood pressure medicine that I'm on is also one of my goals. The other health concern that I have is PCOS, and that's polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I don't know, polycystic ovarian syndrome, yeah, that's what it stands for. Well, my video is a little shaky, sorry. Amateur. So basically, the symptoms, or the ways that that's showing up for me, because that PCOS has a lot of symptoms, and not everybody has every symptom, but obviously for me, weight gain, irregular periods, fibrocystic breasts, and insulin resistance. So that's how that shows up for me. And I'm hoping to not have any of those things at some point in the future. Then the next major area is pain. I live with pain every day of my life. Sometimes the pain is quite severe, and sometimes it's just, a dull, ache in the background. But the one thing I'm very thankful for is that I still can function and I still can live my life. I can go to work and I can, give to my husband and my family and take care of my doggies and, live a full good life, but with discomfort, but it doesn't prevent me from living a normal life. So I'm going to go ahead and list all of the different areas where I experience pain. And probably at some point in the future, I'm going to talk about or do a video on the lymphatic system. These are things that I've started to learn through Dr. Morse's videos and education series. And I believe that I have a very clogged lymphatic system, and I think that might be the reason why I have so much pain. So again, just by eating healthy and improving all of these areas in my life, I think that the pain will diminish, if not go away completely. So the first major area of pain that I have is TMJ, jaw pain. And I actually took a really nasty fall down a flight of stairs about, maybe 12 or so years ago. And the TMJ developed after that, within a couple of months after that. So I have always thought that that was a result of the nasty fall. And that's probably still true, but it could have something to do with the lymphatic blockage as well, especially since I have all of these other issues with pain. But we'll see, I'm just, making the best, educated guess that I can at the moment with the information I have. So TMJ, so I have a lot of jaw pain. The pain literally is from the top of your head and it runs down into your temples. It'll run down your jaws and then into your neck and your shoulders. So literally head to shoulders and everything in between can hurt. Now, in any given day, it's not all of that. Sometimes it may just be the temples or the jaw or running down the neck. Sometimes, it's the head, the top of the head and the temples. But at any rate, I was diagnosed with TMJ and I did physical therapy for it and all that sort of stuff. And I live with the pain and I do exercises as well when the pain acts up. And those exercises that the physical therapist taught me does help. So I have, what is it called? It's called like the cervical, the neck bones running down the back of the neck. I have compressed discs, so they're not evenly spaced like they should be. There's some compression, and so I have a lot of pain in the back of my neck because of that. I have, and this is directly related to the lymphatic system. I have a very hard, swollen lymph node under my arm, and sometimes that can be painful. Usually it's just kind of like a discomfort, not really a pain. It's not really a pain, it's more of a discomfort. But having hard, swollen lymph nodes is a very, very bad thing, I'm learning. That's not a good thing. So I also have, and I think that this is also a result of that nasty fall that I took, I have my hips are actually out of alignment by I think 3/4 of an inch or something out of alignment. So that gives me a lot of hip pain. I can't really stand for any length of time, and when I sit for any length of time and I go to walk, I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm sort of like doing that, until it kind of evens out a little bit. Sleeping is painful, lying on the back, lying on the sides. I can't get into, a comfortable position, so it does affect my sleep. In addition to the hips being out of alignment and the hip pain, I also have that sciatic nerve pain in the lower back, which then radiates the pain down the legs. So I have that as well. I have knee pain in both knees. I used to play soccer when I was a teenager, and I used to run long distance. And unfortunately, I kind of messed up my knees, so I've had knee pain from probably started in the mid-teens, mid-late teens is when I developed that knee pain. Not sure that anything can really be done about that, but you never know. Definitely losing weight would put less pressure on the knees, so just from that angle, I'm sure I could experience some relief and improvement. So, so that was the knees. Okay, then I have, I'm not going to pronounce this correctly. I always struggle with this, so forgive me. Plantar fasciitis. Fasciitis. I can't say that word. I don't know why. But heel pain, basically. So I have a lot of heel pain. And I've lived with the heel pain. That has only been the last couple of years. And then this year, I started having nerve pain. And I think it's diabetic nerve pain, although that has not been diagnosed. But basically, it feels like needles, and it's really, really painful. And it's running from like the very tips of the toes all the way along the bottom of my foot, and that causes me a great deal of discomfort. I mean, I can't fall asleep some nights because it's so bad. And that pain also, I have that same type of pain in my lower legs, below the knees. So basically from like the tips of the toes all the way up to, but not quite up to the knees, but I'll have these needles and this nerve pain, and it's quite disheartening. And like I said, it keeps me up, keeps me from falling asleep, and then I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm hurting, and things like that. I don't do painkillers. I did have prescription NSAIDs from my doctor. I really don't like taking pills, and I certainly don't, and specifically painkillers, because I live with pain every day of my life. I don't want to be on pills every day of my life, That's not healthy, and yes, it helps with the pain, but then, it causes other things. So I will break down and take a painkiller if it is that bad, that, it's keeping me up and I'm not getting sleep at night and that sort of thing. Then yeah, I'll do it. But usually I just suffer with the pain because I don't want to take the painkillers. I have a lot of nasal and ear congestion and seasonal allergies, and the congestion gets so bad that I actually develop sinus infections on an annual basis. So I have a history of taking antibiotics and even steroids, because it'll get so congested, so blocked up, that it develops into an infection, and it usually takes 2 rounds of treatment from the doctor. So I'll do like 2 rounds of antibiotics, or I'll do an antibiotic and then followed with a steroid, just to get rid of the infection, and that usually happens on an annual basis. Sometimes it's more than once for the year, but ever since I've started, cleaning up my diet and really paying very close attention, I'll use the neti pot and different things like that to keep the congestion down. And I do take a nasal spray for the congestion, so I pay a lot of attention and a lot of care. And so I'm able to keep the infections just to once a year, and 2 rounds of treatment from the doctor still, unfortunately. But that whole area, I mean, like, I work in a professional office environment, and some of the people that I work, both males and females, wear perfume in the office, and all I have to do is stand next to them and have a conversation with them, and I am already getting a headache, and I'm already getting congested to where I am having trouble breathing. I'm that sensitive to smells, and the allergies is not good. I I also have inflamed gums, so I have like that red line running along the bottom of the teeth, and that's of particular concern to me because I don't want to lose my teeth. I don't want to have dental issues and things like that, and that's caused from inflammation. And my doctor has told me that I have a high level of inflammation in my body, and so I think that's what's causing that. I also suffer from fatigue. I need that coffee in the morning. I know I'm not supposed to, but I haven't made it to that point yet where I'm not having coffee in the morning. So I need that to help, get me going and keep me alert and stuff at work. And then of course that brings the crash in the afternoon, and by the time I get home I'm really tired and I don't really have a whole lot to give to my family, and things like that. So fatigue. I have a lot of skin issues as well. I've got rashes on several different parts of my body, and sometimes the rash is really inflamed and itchy, but other times it's just kind of there and it's just kind of a nuisance. It never really goes away. But I've had steroidal cream prescription from my doctor, and I'll use that if it gets really bad, but again, I don't like to use things like that. So I try to go for more natural things. I just purchased a salve from Dr. Morse, and I'm using that. It smells really good, and it keeps the rash down. It hasn't made it go away, but I think that that's because I haven't treated the cause of the rash, which is, I think, my lymphatic system. Anyway, and then the last thing, oh boy, this is a really long video. I'm sorry, guys. The last thing that I needed to document here is constipation. So I actually have an update on that. I know it's the first time I'm sharing it with you, but I also have an update on it. So typically, for going back as far as I can remember, every 2 to 3 days is a normal amount of time for me between bowel movements. So every 2 or 3 days I would have one bowel movement. So I that's not healthy. You're constipated, right? But ever since I started making incorporating fruits, so like I told you in another video, I always have fruit for breakfast, and the majority of my lunches every day are fruit. And I noticed that ever since I've made those changes, I actually am regular. I go 6 to 7 times a week. So I go once a day, but every now and then I'll skip a day. So I say like 6 times a week. So that from doing nothing but eating fruits. So big improvement there. So I'm sorry the video is so long, 18 minutes. But again, I just wanted to document this. I wanted to be able to have a record of it, and then to be able to compare down the road, am I still having these issues, and are they as severe as they were, if I am still having them. And the whole diabetes thing is going to be a separate video. Thank you very much for spending time with me, and I hope you have a great evening. Bye.